In this video, we'll be discussing the meaning of the Ogham for divination. Each character of the Ogham has a divinatory meaning. This meaning is derived from the nature of each tree or plant that the letter represents. The descriptions given in this video are brief and not necessarily all-inclusive for the meaning of each plant. Consider the divinatory descriptions here as a place to get you started exploring the Ogham. As you continue your study of trees and plants of the Ogham, you'll come to know more and more about the nature of each. This enriched knowledge will aid you in determining the deeper meanings of each Ogham rune or each Ogham few for divinatory purposes. To begin exploring these deeper meanings, consider first the gods and goddesses associated with each tree or plant. What do they represent? What is their energy? How can their archetypal energy assist you in reading the Ogham? Next, explore the healing properties of each plant. If you read an Ogham few associated with a plant, how would its healing properties influence the meaning of the reading? For example, Phagos, the beech tree, has healing properties that soothe irritations of the skin. In considering this quality for divinatory purposes, you might think about any sources of irritation in your life that might be represented by this few. Also, since beech is good for treating irritations of the skin, and the skin is on the outside of your body, you might explore the idea that this source of irritation is something that is external to you. Try exploring the various healing properties as metaphors for divinatory meanings, and your understanding of the Ogham will increase. Finally, look at the magical properties of each plant, and experiment with relating these to divinatory meanings of each few. For example, heather's magical properties involve shamanism, dream work, and meditation. If you are reading this few in a divination, how would those properties influence your outcome? Could there be hidden influences at work? Are the fews telling you to increase your meditation practices in order to find an answer? Practice reading the Ogham at least once a day for your dedicant period, and see what knowledge you can gain through this work. Originally, Ogham was taught using something called kennings. A kenning is an expression in Old English and Old Norse poetry with a metaphorical meaning. The word kenning means to know, and kennings usually take two words and pair them together to create a metaphorical meaning for another idea. Kennings are usually used as teaching tools. For example, a kenning for sword might be wound hoe. A modern equivalent might be bookworm for someone who reads a lot, or bean counter for a bookkeeper or an accountant. Part of the idea of kennings when it comes to the Ogham is to be able to create your own interpretations. In this sense, they're similar to Japanese koans, riddles in the form of poems that encourage the student to think for herself. Use the kennings for the Ogham to determine your own divinatory meanings for each Ogham few. The rest of this video will just give the kennings for each character of the Ogham. There are three versions of the Ogham kennings. These are the Briatha Oram Moraine Mac Muin, the Briatha Oram Mac in Och, and the Briatha Oram Concuhulan, or Conculain. Briatha Oram just means word Ogham. The divinatory meanings used in this video will be from the Briatha Oram Conculain. Note also that the divinatory meanings given in this video are in English, and therefore might contain more than two words. The original kennings were in medieval Irish, and were all two words at the time. Adding more words to some kennings is just an artifact of translating them into English. At present, this information is not available on the Black Mountain Druid Order's website, but it will be available in our upcoming Bard course. The Bard course should be available sometime in the late spring or early summer of 2022. So let's begin. For the letter B, which is Beith, Birch is the beauty of the eyebrow. For the letter L, Luish, which is the Rowan tree, the kenning is sustenance of cattle. For F, Fearn, the alder tree, the kenning is protection of the heart. For S, Saille, the willow tree, the kinning is beginning of honey. For N, Nuin, Nuin, ash tree is boast of beauty. H, Ua, the hawthorn, most difficult at night. D, Duir, the oak, the kinning is most carved of craftsmanship. T, Tinne, the holly, the kinning is one of 3 parts of a weapon. For C, Coll, the hazel, the kinning is sweetest tree. For Q, Quert, the apple, the kinning is dregs of clothing. M, Muin, the vine, is the path of the voice. G, Gort, the ivy, is the sating of the multitudes. NG, getal, the reed or the elm in the United States, is the beginning of slaying. Z, Straif, the blackthorn, is seeking of clouds. R, Uish, the elder, is the glow of anger. A, Ailm, the pine, is the beginning of the calling. O, the gorse, is the equipment of warrior bands. U, Ura, or Ura, the heather, is the shroud of the lifeless one. E, Ea, the aspen, is brother of Birch. I, Yoho, is the U, energy of an infirm person. The 5th alchemy, or the last 5 letters of the Ogham, were added at a later time, and there are therefore no traditional kinnings associated with those letters. So how would you use this information in an omen reading? Let's look first at a couple of kinnings. Hawthorn's kinning is most difficult at night. The hawthorn tree is known as the fairy tree. It's said that if you fall asleep under a hawthorn, you might wake up in the land of the Sidhe, the fairy realm. So drawing this view in a reading could mean that there is some energy of the fae following the person. Or it could mean that they need to take extra care at night or watch for dark energies. Let's look at another. Suppose you draw Duir, the oak, in a reading. The kinning for oak is most carved of craftsmanship. Oak is one of the hardest and most durable woods, so it's natural that it would be used in making lots of things. But oak is also the druid tree, because the oak was considered to be the king of the forest. So in that sense, most carved of craftsmanship could mean the wisest or the most knowledgeable. Drawing this view in a reading could mean that the person is about to gain great wisdom, or needs to gain great wisdom. Familiarize yourself with all of the kinnings here. You might also practice them in conjunction with Fearn's wheel, or Fearn's window, so that you can explore how all the Ogham views are interrelated. And of course, the more you practice, the more accurate your readings will be. Hi, this is Shenka. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to subscribe and click on that little bell icon so you're informed when we release a new video. We try to release a new video at least once a week. And if you're interested in the Black Mountain Druid Order, you can visit our website at blackmountaindruidorder.com. You can also learn more about me, my books, and my music at shenkaskane.com.